Well, hello. First you have to have the scale. So, but the butcher gave me 3 pounds, and I weighed it to make sure that's what I have. 3 pounds of ground beef regular, because I barbecue them and I want them juicy, so I don't want them lean. And then I need like half a big onion. The reason I have 2 parsley is because a lot of markets now, they're packaging it, and they're not giving you as much as they used to. So I bought 2 of them, unless you go to certain markets where they have a big bunch. And you have to have a knife that the handle is smaller than the blade, and do that to it, to chop. In the old country, they have a knife like about this big, curved, and they have a big chopping board. And they go like that, and I mean, they chop it in no time. They chop the parsley, the smithereens, the onions, everything. This is too big. This is my favorite knife. This is too heavy. So this is what I'm going to use. You can see it's been used a lot. So I'm going to put these here. And then, these are washed and everything. And here's the way I chop parsley. I start from the bottom where the stems are. And I cut the stems off first. And then I just cut them real small. You could use I have a food processor, but I just want you, not everybody has one. So that's how I do it, even though I have a food processor. But if you do use a food processor, you only use it for the parsley and onions. You don't throw the meat in it, and you don't mix them in it. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time putting them on the skewer. Each time I turn it like 90 degrees. You see why the handle has to be smaller, so your hand doesn't hit the board, the chopping board. Wow, that's a big onion. And we're going to use a little bit less than half. And the way I cut the onion, I keep the tail, and I cut where the roots are. Then what I do, I slice it. And if you refrigerate the onion, you'll cry less. Right, the same thing. We're gonna chop onions. I'm using 3 pounds, so that's what I'm using. But a medium onion and a large parsley. And I don't use pepper. I use, it is pepper. It's called allspice. People think that's a lot of spices. It isn't. It's allspice is Aleppo pepper, which is red. It's not as strong as the black pepper. I can't handle the black pepper for some reason. It'll upset my stomach. But this doesn't. So I put the salt and the allspice, mix it with the onions and parsley first. Then I'll mix the meat. And then I'll make the skewers and the patties. I put about a tablespoon. Obviously, you could put as much as you want. You'll see how you like it. That's how you'll do it. All right, then I'll mix this. Then I'll put the meat and mix it all together by hand. No food processor. Well, meanwhile, I have the barbecue on, and I don't use those briquettes. I use, oak and stuff like that that's, all sizes. They burn hotter and faster, believe it or not. It's ready. And so I'll show you. Right now, I made 2 patties. And then I'm gonna, because that's what I do. What I do is I don't eat the patties anymore. My friends, especially my fraternity brothers, when I went to college, Sigma Delta, whenever they came over my house or barbecued or whatever, I called them Kofta burgers, but they insisted on, they gave it the name Rami burger. That wasn't me. They gave it the name Rami burger, so stuck with it. And here's what I do is I'll make the skewer on wood. Sometimes I wash them and keep them. But meanwhile, I'll freeze them and I wrap them with wax paper and then put them in a plastic bag. Now see, if you had mixed this in a food processor, you'll have a hard time for them sticking together and, making it into a skewer. So what I do is, all I have to do is fire the barbecue, get a skewer or 2 out, unthaw it, and I eat them on pita bread. I spread the hummus that I made myself also, and I put pickles, green hot peppers, maybe some tomatoes. Then you want to make them a little thick, and just scorch them on the outside so they're juicy inside. We'll see, because the barbecue's almost ready. When you barbecue, after they're being frozen, they should unthaw. You just don't throw them on the barbecue, frozen. Well, you can make them as small or as big as you want, or however you want them. And the buns, I like sesame buns. And the tahina made from sesame. I'm sure you know that. So, sesame is good for you. And I have a bonus recipe for you, so stick around till the end of the show. I'll show you something. My house is pretty old, and look at my back gate. Horses and dogs. Some of the roses, special pomegranate from Lebanon. They're sweet, and the seeds are small, so you can eat the whole thing. You don't just suck on it. The lemon. A wild lemon. Well, this is homemade hummus. And I'm just going to put some tomato. Actually, you don't need anything with it. It's so tasty. And then I don't buy pita bread because I can't make it this thin. This is how the Lebanese make it, because they don't want to be fat. I only use half the bread. I don't eat a lot of bread. That's it. That's my dinner. Well, this was episode 242. Next one will be about salads. My bonus recipe is I use the same kofta. You know how to make this kofta. I either barbecue it or I put it in the bottom of a pan with some butter. I bake it, I turn it over till it's cooked on both sides, or I barbecue it outside. I boil some potatoes and slice them about half-inch thick and spread them on top of the meat. Then I slice up tomatoes, same thickness, spread them on top of the potatoes, and then I get tomato sauce, put it in a bowl, mix allspice and salt to taste, and then cover it till it covers it all. Bake it because everything's already cooked, really. And you bake it maybe 45 minutes till the potatoes start getting charred a little bit. Nobody, 80-some years I've been here, ever not love it to death. It's called Kofta, which means kofta in the furnace, And of course, when I was growing up, we didn't have ovens and stuff, but there was like a public bakery where boys did that. They'd come to your house, and they have like a board of 1x12 or something, and put all the pita bread or the trays of different stuff that people want to bake. And they take it and they bake it and they bring it back. You pay them and you tip them. So, that's how we did before people had ovens. So anyway, see you next time with salads. Bye.